Big part of the family falling apart was there's just so little trust with each other. So sad.
Hello everyone, welcome to the show. Hit the subscribe button and thumbs up this episode. In the aftermath of Garrison's passing, Sister Wives star Maddie Brown has decided to reach out to Robyn Brown's kids. Robyn has kept her 5 children apart from the others, even breaking up their holiday group chat. What is Maddie saying about reconciling? For more details, read on. Robyn's children are spoken to by Maddie Brown. Kody Brown has announced that he is residing with Robyn Brown, his 4th wife, and her 5 children since the pandemic in 2020. He had 3 wives and 13 other children, even though he had a lot of issues with them. He didn't believe Christine Brown, Wooly and Janelle were behaving responsibly or safely. Additionally, Kody believed his children were risking their lives and security. The viewers of Sister Wives knew that he had a liking for Robyn, however he still kept calling her his submissive wife. His dissatisfaction among children created an irreparable gap in the family. When Kody's initial 3 wives abandoned him and the Poly family, Robyn and he were left alone. It has been quite unfortunate that Robyn's 5 have been estranged from the OG 13. The time they had spent together as a family had been lost. Fortunately, all of them came together to bury Garrison, Janelle and Kody's son in Wyoming. Maddie then sat down with her sibling and Leon Brown, the long-lost son of Mary Brown. Maddie said during their conversation that she wanted to reconnect with Robyn's children. She started out by saying how upset she was with their father Kody, even going as far as to refer to the Sister Wife star by his first name instead of Dad. I'm mad about what went down with Kody, but I still have some control over how I react and how I respond back, so I'm still deciding how I do that. Maddie continued saying that she was sad for her father and his 5 children with Robyn. She went on to add that she would love to talk to Kody and Robyn's children. I have nothing against you, I would tell them, and I apologize if I've ever hurt you. Will there be a reconciliation? Maddie Brown appears to have been able to keep her dad and his wife away from their children. She does not like the space and knows that they are her brothers and sisters. Sister Wives has mourned Garrison Brown, who took his life in March 2024, for the past 3 episodes. Although they were estranged, everyone came to say goodbye to him. But whereas everyone else was on the other side of the grave, Robyn's children were on her side along with Kody. It was great to see a number of children greet Robyn's 5 when they arrived at the cemetery. Sister Wives fans believed Robyn was entirely responsible for her family being distant from the other 3. In addition, they justified their sentiments. They believed Robyn was responsible for all things in their lives, including their phones. Additionally, Robyn appeared to make her children feel uninvited. Others meanwhile believed Maddie and Leon were trying to use TV to bond with their siblings. What was the symbolic reason Janelle Brown accorded Kody grace? In what symbolic manner did Sister Wives actor Janelle Brown pay tribute to Kody Brown during Garrison's funeral? Even before Janelle and Kody broke up, their relationship was already very limited. She has already been more generous to her ex than most people would ever be. For more details, keep on reading. Sister Wives Janelle Brown gifts Kody grace symbolically. Sister Wives has paid tribute to Garrison Brown, who died in March 2024 in the last 3 episodes. It outlined his struggles, such as when they began, what triggered him, and other information. It also depicted how traumatizing it was for his family to discover that he had taken his own life. When the day came to prepare for the burial of Garrison, Kody Brown desired to return him to Wyoming. This is where his parents' ranch is located and the resting place of his mother and father Janelle Brown. Kody, Robyn and their 5 kids were allowed by Janelle to join Garrison on a journey to his final resting ground. With the help of his brother and brother-in-law, Kody was even able to dig out his son's grave. Kody sat at the side of the grave when the family gathered at the funeral. Janelle held the urn prior to him. Although he was to be the one to bury it, when that she handed it to him and said that it was only right because Janelle had given their child to Kody at birth, she handed him off in death. So it was a full circle moment for the parents. To reference Janelle Brown allowing Kody to dig up Garrison's grave, one Sister Wives enthusiast commented, "But I thought Janelle's use of poetic and symbolic speech when she did say that Kody could dig the hole instead of bringing him home or speaking more gently was interesting. She knew Garrison had a strong need for the love of Kody, but now it was too late." As per what had been spoken, Kody was estranged from his son at the time of his death, which was devastating. Supporters are torn. Janelle Brown's courage left many Sister Wives viewers amazed after seeing her give Kody Brown the urn. She did, however, confess that she momentarily forgot about the problem with Kody. This was how it would end for these 2 upset parents who lost a child. Viewers saw the symbolism earned and felt very strongly about Janelle's reason for giving it away. Together they created him, and together they were now giving him back as one. This was not how everyone perceived. Sadly, the symbolism indicates that the actual Kody was the one who put this child through the most distress. Janelle should have buried her child who has always been on his side, shattered face. You cannot understand the daily drudge of rejection, shame, and abandonment. If you never went through parental alienation, you paved the way for a dreadful ending when you add all of that to chronic anxiety and unhappiness. Even with Kody's awful behavior, there were some viewers who pitied him, no matter what reason Janelle gave him for presenting him with the urn. Like Janelle, they were gracious to him because they empathized with the pain of losing someone dear to them, even if it was a child. Bridges long thought to have been burned may be starting to be rebuilt in the quiet aftermath of such a profound loss. A woman who was raised in a difficult and closely monitored home has embarked on a private mission to repair the once tight-knit ties. She attempts to open a door that has remained closed for decades with good intentions and unspoken grief. Those familiar with the complicated family dynamics of the Brown household know her name, but her role is a sea change. This determined sister is boldly forging ahead to emotional recovery while grief remains in the aftermath of her brother's awful death. The family had already begun to recede into silence years before the recent tragedies unfolded. Aside from testing immune systems, the global health pandemic that swept across the globe years ago destroyed the remaining of the fragile bonds that united this multicultural household. A man who once managed a household with multiple women and numerous children was at the center of that collapse. His concentration slowly became singular, and he went on to dedicate most of his time, energy, and presence to one house, one woman, and her children. Suddenly, those who had grown up with siblings, meals with others, living rooms full of humor, and holiday with groups were divided by imaginary walls. She maintained her home close, and her name was a synonym for fidelity and loyalty towards the family head. She stuck by her defense of the strict laws imposed by her husband, even when everyone else questioned the rules, complained, and drew their own conclusions. While some envied this closeness, others viewed it as an indication of split. Her children, once bustling members of the extended family, faded away. None replied to the messages. Once full of holiday planning and casual news, group activity was subdued. No invitations were issued, or if they were declined. But for one daughter at least, who had moved away to build an independent life, the family tie never left her heart. She cherished the recollection of her childhood and her many siblings close to her heart as a mother now caring for her own children. A gap too large to overlook was created by the recent loss of her brother, a tough, smart man whose life was cut too short. The following sorrow wiped away long-standing bitterness and revealed the unadorned truth. She missed her family, each and all. No avoiding the visual image of the emotional divide when mourners gathered under a gray sky in a serene resting ground hidden among the expansive Wyoming plains. Those who had chosen to strike out on their own and move away from the family patriarch were on one hand. Those who remained near him due to their close daily contact and allegiance on the other hand. However, some reluctant greetings were shared between these formerly tight brothers as the coffin descended and the wind stirred the leaves of the trees. Something different was ignited by a conversation beyond the ceremonial distance following the service. A brother who has not been publicly seen much recently spoke openly with the sister who had flown the coop to build her own. Their discussion was a release of hope, responsibility, and yearning, and not just superficial condolences. She expressed her anguish through tears and words, not just from the recent tragedy but from years of silence, years of doubt, and years of wondering if the family she knew still existed underneath all the shattered layers. It wasn't a TV-rehearsed speech, but she had a desire that even surprised her to sit across from her father's other children, the ones she hadn't seen or spoken to for a long time, and simply say, "I hold no resentment. If I have hurt you knowingly or not, please forgive me." It was a cry from a healing place. She drew a clear distinction in her heart. Even though her relationship with her dad is still complicated and built of disappointment and various ideals, even if they were raised in a house she never fully understood, his children were still her siblings. Even though they had been kept apart by time, space, and grown-up issues, love had endured. Even if it was brief, the moment had potential. Her determination may have been undermined by grief. Or perhaps motherhood had taught her the value of second chances and unconditional love. In any event, she didn't see the point in letting adult mistakes rob her of being a sibling. The reasons behind the emotional walls built around a certain household have long been a source of speculation among viewers of the family's televised life. Many believe that the matriarch of that household was a gatekeeper between her children and the rest of the family since she was loyal to the patriarch's laws. Critics argue that she had such a grip on her children's life that they didn't have autonomy. Rumors circulated that digital communication was discouraged or monitored. It was treason to reach out to others outside of her close circle. However, they are theories, conclusions drawn from online forums and action on television. Pain on all sides is still undeniable. It's possible that the mother of the distant household acted out of devotion, fear, or just the belief that she was protecting her children. Once her family, those outside her circle now symbolize conflict rather than a sense of belonging. But something changed at a cemetery in the middle of the country, with eyes red with tears and voices cracking with sorrow. Not very meaningfully, perhaps just enough though. A nod, a hug, a wave, things that used to seem impossible. Without seeking perfection, the woman is now fighting for reconnection. She knows that not all of her siblings will respond. Not every conversation would be easy. Rebuilding all memories is impossible. But she is placing courage ahead of convenience when it might be simpler to remain silent. Reach out. Bringing harmony where strife once existed. Making apologies isn't the sole aim of her quest. The aim is to rediscover what belonging to a tribe,